Today we're going to be showing how to make a frequency table. This is from Chapter 2 of Statistics. A frequency table is a great way to display your data from a given study and creating a histogram to go along with. It can also help indicate patterns. To begin, we're going to start by creating a table. This table is going to have multiple sections beginning with class limits, then class boundaries, then a tally for the numbers that fall into the limits, a frequency section, and a relative frequency section. When completed, your table should look something like this. To give a better visual, we're going to start with an example. Here we have a data set of students and how many miles they walk to their commute to school in a given day. To start, it's given that we want to have 6 class limit for the number of our class limits. We're going to use this formula. You are going to take your largest number from the data set and subtract it from your smallest number, then you're going to divide it by your desired class amount. So for this given example, we're going to have 47 as our largest number and 1 as our smallest. Divided by 6 would give us 46 divided by 6 equaling 7.6. When you get a number with a decimal, you should round, so for this example, we're going to have 8. With this information, we now know that our class limits are going to have 8 numbers. So now we're going to make a table again, and now that we know that our class limits include 8 numbers, we can start to fill out that section of our table beginning with 1 to 8, then 9 to 16, then 17 to 24, then 25 to 32, then 33 to 40, then 41 to 48. Here you can see we have 6 classes. Now we can move on to class boundaries. We solve class boundaries by getting our upper class limit and adding a unit of 0.5 to the existing number, and for our lower class limit, we subtract 0.5. So I'm going to give you guys a minute to solve it. You can pause the video. Once you're finished, your numbers should be 0.5 to 8.5, then 8.5 to 16.5, then 16.5 to 24.5, then 24.5 to 32.5, then 32.5 to 40.5. Lastly, 40.5 to 48.5. Now you have completed the class boundary section. Moving on to the tally section. You are going to look at your data set and tally the number as it falls into each section. So for numbers 1 through 8 we can tally 14 because 14 numbers fall into this column. For 9 to 16, 21 numbers fall into that column. And so on and so forth. When you complete it should look like this. Lastly, in our table, we're going to be solving for relative frequency. You solve for relative frequency by dividing the frequency from the total number of our data. So our data set includes 60 numbers, so for each section, we're going to divide our frequency by 60. For example, our first section 1 through 8 would be 14 divided by 60. You're going to continue down the row, and your numbers should add up to 1. Thank you for listening.